And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
This is President Crosby, and you're listening to The Campaign on Fearless Life Radio.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Audacious, coldest podcast audio and video producer in the nation for the Campaign podcast, man. And I'm sitting right here with the host himself, Pres Crosby. How we feeling, my guy?
Hear ye, man.
Salute.
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling blessed. Can't really complain.
Hey, that don't get nothing done, you hear me?
You could say that again.
that ain't gonna get nothing done. I wanted the people to know this funny thing that we kind of like, we knew, but we kind of like, I personally kind of re-found out yesterday, was that my birthday is December 27th, and the producer of the campaign, his birthday is December 28th. We were born the same year. He just said it jokingly off air, 12 hours older than him. Which I think is hilarious, which we bring it up because we kind of like-minded, but we kind of know why. It's like, I think I was born on a Wednesday, so you were born on a Thursday.
Something like that.
I think it's something like that. When you go to the old calendar or something, it pops up like that.
Oh, yeah. But for sure.
I think that's crazy coincidence that we've been going to school, stuff like that. Now we're here on the podcast, man. Sharing thoughts, sharing enlightenment, trying to get the people right, and lead people on the righteous path. So I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. So speaking of this, I want to get right into it. How did all this happen?
When you say all this, what you mean?
I mean everything, because this goes back to high school, my guy. Like, we go back, all right. But what I want to know is how it all started. Like, I know you went to the Ohio Media School. Let's start there.
I mean, Ohio. I feel like I was all like how everything began, such as like the president thing and like all of that. Really, that started in high school. It started on Twitter. I think Barack was running against somebody or something. I was real wild on Twitter back in the day. Yeah. My ad name back in the day was I Dropkick Hoes. I Dropkick _hoes. So I was saying what I wanted to say whenever I wanted to say it, because my mother was on Facebook and I couldn't really speak my mind like I wanted to on Facebook.
Yeah, no, Twitter was definitely different. Big time.
way different. Not this Elon Musk Twitter. We're talking about the real gutter. You
The
feel like
real
you
gutter.
in a club.
Man.
But the president started from that, like just jokingly on Twitter, to being like, man, I don't care about who running for president, I'm the president. And taking that and running with it for so long, changing my ad. People in high school started to call me that, started to just come up to me. People that didn't know my name in the school I was going to called me president based on what I was posting on Twitter, which was always kind of like a wild feel for me because I was joking. I'm just playing around, feeling like I'm feeling it. So, when you say how it all began, it's like, joking way to speak of it is the people made it. I jokingly said it, and y'all believe, like, the people believed it so much that that's the president, jokingly, and then it became such a long-term thing that I started to, I'm sitting around one day, man, and I'm like, man, I need a logo, man, or something, I need a logo, man, like people, and I meet people all the time that don't know my name. They literally only know me as that, have only heard that, have seen the logo or something like that. So I feel like it just started joking around, playing around on Twitter, and the people made me who I am.
That makes sense, my guy. Hey, because going back to like high school and stuff like that, you walked around like you was the president.
And that wasn't intentional. And you know me, man. Like, it wasn't intentional.
Because, like, we talk, ever since we got reconnected, we've talked about this, like, every time we talk. If somebody seen you in the hallway, you was no longer alone.
Man, and it's... And you don't know how humbling that is to hear that, man. Because to be somebody, especially in my older, I guess, wiser years compared to high school, and just wanting to move with so much love and just wanting to make people feel comfortable in my aura and everything about it. To know that when I walk around the hallway and just people just boom, boom, just coming out of nowhere, and now you got a whole congregation, so to speak, skipping class. It's so hilarious because I didn't think, I was just, like, I was just trying to just enjoy myself, make school not feel so, really, but really I always believe, and I always say, God got me right where I'm supposed to be. If I'm in school and it's 12:37, why not enjoy it? Why not make people feel good while I'm here? Even if I'm only at school, as you know, 2 to 3 times out the week, why not kick it? Let's get our work done. Let's still do what we're supposed to do, but let's kick it. Why not? Why we not enjoying ourselves? Why we not making the best of this? Because we not, and you know it, man, we not going to be there forever. And that's how I take that approach with everything I do in life. Let's enjoy it. Let's add some love to it, and let's get it done, like, to the best of our ability. So, same thing. And I didn't know that at the time, though. I had to identify. I had to learn so much. To learn other people, I had to learn who I was first. So, to identify back on the high school approach, and because teachers would tell me, like, you got this leadership and this, that, and the other, but you're not using it to your full potential, and you're out here got people doing this and that. You could have been a class president or something. Like, I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hear all that, man. Why am I in trouble and they not?
It was always you.
Why I'm in the office?
I skip away.
That's cool, man. You keep the people safe. I'll take all the hits, man. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? And we'll rekindle later on. About a couple periods later, we'll run it back. I'm back out there. So whatever works, man. But I didn't identify that at the time. And teachers, mentors, people who really seen my heart and who I was internally, got that out of me. Made me understand kind of who I was and the type of person I could be, not only for myself but to other people when they're around me. Like, they really tapped into it, even if they had to knock me on my head. And there's some teachers that I still talk to this day, or mentors that have been with me since my adolescent years, and just who was trying to talk to me, and I wasn't all the way there yet. So now they talk to me on a different level because they proud of me, because they be like, that's what I was talking about. That's that right there. Facts. What you're doing. That's what I was trying. That's who I was trying to talk to, and you weren't there yet. But now I see it, and you can see their shoulders just relax now when they talk to me, because they feel like they're talking with me and not at me about who I am, and trying to, it's like a coach. Like, man, why are you not dunking, or why are you not running the plays? Like, I know how good you is. So I'm happy I can make people feel like that, and just ultimately just try to give back, in one way, in more than one way. So that's all it's about.
So would you say that's what you pride yourself off the most?
Pride
yourself of the most?
I say what I pride myself on, I guess, so to speak, the most would be ultimately at the end of the day to just try to be a good man. Like, I always jokingly say, and me and my New York people, shout out to Cuzzo Nate out there in New York. His thing, even when we playing 2K, was I'm a man first. So I always try to lead and be a good man, a good human. And I feel like I pride myself on that the most, especially in times of toughness, when things are not necessarily going your way, but ultimately trying to stay as disciplined as I can, and abiding by my own morals and self-code to just being a good man. Because we all have a gem within us, and being around or in situations that bring that out of us can lead us on the wrong path. So trying to hold myself accountable as much as I can to just, if the opportunity arises to not be a good person, I try not. That's not me. That's what I tell myself. So I think I pride myself on the most just by being a good person. Being a father, being somebody that, would I want to be looked up to? Would I look up to myself? So, and I feel like, and as a praying man, alhamdulillah, truth be told, I can't ask God for anything if I'm not doing my part. Can't ask. I don't even want to waste his time. Why would I pray for something that I'm not willing to put effort into? So if I'm praying for good things or opportunity and this, that, and the other, but I'm not living up to a standard of being just a decent human being, then I feel like I can't ultimately ask for good things to happen to me. So I feel like, for real, man, just to be completely honest with you, I pride myself on just being a good man and moving with a lot of love. Just it. Like, it's funny because I had a female artist, she contacted me about, being on the show, and she said, like, what do I, like, what kind of commercial or what do I need to bring, or like, what could I make for the show or something like that? Like, do you have any ideas? And my text back to her was, me. And her text back was LOVVVVVVVVE. So love, like, that's who I am. That's what I try to move with. And when somebody's in my aura, I want them to feel that. So I just pride myself on being a good man. I think at the core of everything.
All right, my man. So I feel like where I'm going with this next one, they're kind of one and the same.
Okay.
So you talk about what you pride yourself on. Is that the same thing that makes you feel fulfilled at the end of the day? Or what makes you feel fulfilled? Like, wholeheartedly, I'm satisfied.
I think you can agree with this most.
Content.
Yeah. I say content is doing good things. And also following my passions. And I feel like my passion or my purpose, I feel fulfilled when I'm doing for others. So when I'm having a bad day, my thing in my head, or that I always tell myself, if I'm having a bad day, that's when God wants you to make somebody else's day a little bit better. Because, okay, everything bad is happening to me, so why don't I take the approach of doing something, if I'm going to get something to eat, going to get an extra burger. You know what I'm saying? Making somebody feel good because I'm not there. Just adding that little bit of energy into a different direction instead of trying to bring negatives to a situation or something like that. I feel like what brings me the most fulfillment, though, is just doing good things. Giving back to a community, giving back to people, being kind, and truly just following passions, man. Just doing the stuff, like you said, going to Ohio Media School and stuff like that, being in media, doing things for 93.1 and the radio stations and stuff like that. Just following my passion and moving with purpose in a very elegant way, in a very loving way. So I feel like that's what makes my, that's what makes me feel like I'm, it gives me that strength, you know what I'm saying, to just motivate me through the next day and through the next obstacle type of thing, I can say.
I feel that for real. So there's one word that I keep hearing you say a lot, and that's passion. Mm-hmm. So, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but with this whole President Crosby thing, I really saw the brand. And the brand itself is a good word. I kind of saw that take off with the clothing brand. Is that your passion?
I will say it's
like
more
fashion.
I do love fashion. I've always been a color coordinated or.
You've always been fresh. I ain't gonna cap.
I appreciate that. Like, I've had artists like, people that went to school or, seen me out or something like that. It's a lot of outfits I can't even wear no more, because that people done already seen them or they done already held me accountable for them or something like, or heard about them or something. So, but I love dressing well, and bringing that kind of presence to a situation, to an event, or just, something simple. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you invited me to something, if you invited me to a gathering or a cookout or something, I feel like people expect me to come a certain way. So I've created that level of expectation for myself because of how I dress and what I'm bringing. But I think I want to say it's Tom Ford. He said dressing well is a form of good manners. So if you invited me to something, I think it would showcase how much I cared for me personally as an individual, how much I cared about that event or whatever due to how I dress. If you seen a custom jacket or something like that, I've went to weddings with a custom PC dress shirt that I can't wear to another wedding because they not gonna let me. They're like, nah, bro, you doing something at another wedding. Like, I need something. Like my last wedding I went to, my good hermano Bays, shouts out to him on getting married. He, like, I had people come up to me talking about, hey man, for my wedding I need something different. I need you to come and this right here, what you got on is crazy. I need something different though. They telling me about my outfit, but because they wedding in a couple months, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh man, and I be feeling a certain way because that's a lot of expectation on me, but it's with good reason. I'd rather not. Now I'm thinking in my head like, man, I don't even know how I'm about to come, like orange or red. Like, I'm trying to incorporate their favorite colors into the outfit because it's their event, and that's what I try to do. I make people feel good, and dressing was always something that I took from my mother. She was a big fashion woman. Big. She had a closet just for fur coats. Just for like you couldn't put just nothing in minks. There. Minks, fur, fox. She got this one outfit, man. She got this one fur coat. It's black and it's got a brown collar and she got a matching like head wrap in fur. When I tell you,
I know what you're talking about.
I love it so much because my mom was like, when she would come up to the school, teachers would tell me about her outfits. Oh my, was that your mother? Oh my God, she came up here in the lavender heels, clacking. If I heard clacking in the hallway, I knew my mama was coming. And she was gonna look nice. She was coming from work, or that was her thing. And my mom she always tell me she was very shy, so she dressed loud. That's how she expressed herself.
Okay.
And I think I get a lot of that from her. And I was in a fashion show when I was younger, and she said, like, what color you want to wear? I said, I want to wear pink. That's how she looked at me. She looked at me like, well, okay. Okay,
no,
let's go then. She got more excited to me because I don't know how she thought, but I'm like, it's a fashion show. Why would we wear this basic brown suit or whatever? I'm not doing that. I'm coming correct. I'm coming crazy. This is a fashion show. We showcasing fashion. I'm coming pink. Had a pink hat, pink shoes, pink pant, whole pink suit. I look like Pinky from Friday. At 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it was that.
Not
and
Pinky.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. So I felt like that was the thing. I got that a lot from her. And wrestling. Wrestling was another big thing. I can remember, I'm a big wrestling fan, big wrestling head. So when I feel like with wrestling, I can remember matches and stuff like that based on the outfits, based on what like Shawn Michaels had on in the first ever ladder match and stuff like that. So fashion incorporated in my head is memory as well. I could talk to somebody. The first thing I look at is their shoes, what they had on. You know what I'm saying? That's how I remember a person, kind of by like their presentation and their vibe. You know what I'm saying? If you in all white, I think you come in. That's godly. You don't want to be touched. You ain't about to sit certain places. That's what those colors to me represent in a sense. So that's why I try to feel like fashion is a big thing to me. It's one of my passions for sure. And I think that's definitely one of them. Like being on camera, talking and being a speaker and really just like a mentor to not only the youth but the older people as well, because a lot of people for mental health reasons, like a mental health spokesman, and I have a passion for communicating and helping people communicate effectively and efficiently, and not only amongst others but to themselves too, because you have to hold yourself accountable to be a good communicator, you know, and to be able to identify what needs to be communicated, you know, whether that be with an individual, a group of people, or within yourself, because we talk to ourselves all the time, whether we want to believe it or not. Like, even if you respond to somebody with a head nod or something,
it's body language.
It's we could, it's so many different ways, and it's different forms of communicating, you know. So that's a big passion of mine too, is because I didn't always have effective communicators around in my upbringing. I feel like my dad wasn't the best communicator, but he responded through action. My mom was a very emotional communicator, so she responded in different ways, but it didn't always match her action. Like, she would tell you, she'll say something, and she'll say something about you, then go make you something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, man, you're like, what's going on? So she still stayed true to who she was, but it didn't always match her verbal. My dad, he was more like, he say less and do more type of person. So I try to take all the good aspects of my upbringing and who I was around and stuff like that, also utilize them to wrestlers like a Ric Flair, a Rock, you know, Stone Cold, you know, effective communicators in a different line of work who were out there paying you to, you know, they were getting paid to be entertaining to you, but they had a message. What is that message? And everybody, you can have the same message, but you can say it differently. You know, it's not always about what you say, it's how you say it. It's different when you calling somebody, oh, you a bitch, instead of, bro, you acting like a bitch. Like, that little simple tone, change of voice, that might be your dude. You know, hey, man, you acting like a bitch, bro. You gotta chill, bro. You might not even take it the same because he not rah-rah. And you know who he is. He trying to, like, bro, why is you acting like that? You not, that's not true. He might be tapping in with you. And it's not about the B word. It's about the tone. You feel like he coming at you in a different way. And it's just all about learning those different things. And like you mentioned, body language. You know, that's a big way to communicate. Women communicate body language so often. I don't care what woman you're around, mom, age group, anything. Wow, nothing. Body language is, so much can be said with a simple change of direction and leaning and this, that, and comfortability, all types of stuff. Listening, to know that person. You know what I'm saying? That's what I pride myself on as well, is just being an effective communicator and also helping people feel comfortable to communicate. Say how you feel, mean what you say though. You know, don't speak with so negative, because that gets no point across. You know, so that's a passion of mine too, is mental health coach. I coach basketball, so that's a big passion of mine for the youth. You know, just trying to give back in any way, shape, or form that I can. But the clothing and stuff, that's just like a branch of it, type of thing.
So this whole thing's been passion, fashion.
And we trying to get a mansion.
Hey, man.
Passion, fashion, move into a mansion.
In that order.
In that order.
So, like I said, you know, we went to high school together. We've always been friends on social media. Mm-hmm. I've been watching you for a minute. So this clothing line comes out. You start bringing out these clothes. Mm-hmm. You need somebody to represent these clothes.
Right.
You know, walk them down the aisle, show the world what's going on.
Right.
You got some fine models.
That's not the first time I heard that.
That's not, when it comes to, because I've been to a couple like local fashion shows.
Right.
When it comes to something like fashion, those people that put the fashion shows together, find the models. That's not something easy. You know, you gotta know the clothes, you gotta know the models. How do you do that? How do you find these models, get them in the right, fits, making sure it's a process.
It's a big process, man, and it's not. I try not to overthink it. My biggest thing is like if I'm on social media, or it's usually word of mouth. Like it's usually somebody I know that knows somebody or knows somebody else that wouldn't mind interacting or promoting the clothing or like. You know what I'm saying? Promote the movement of what the love, because my motto is be kind, be genuine, be you. So I think when I'm finding the models, it's really people find me in a lot of situations. I feel like ultimately, and this goes for not only women but men too. I'm proud of myself on being a good man. When you see this logo, that's what this should showcase. Good people. That's what it is. I feel like I can take anybody, and I also with the clothing, I love when the hoodie is on somebody in their element because it's the people's brand. Just like I feel like this is the people's podcast because we're gonna be here discussing things that people feel uncomfortable to talk about or want to be anonymous when they talk about or want some advice or stuff like that. So my biggest thing is taking a person with the brand or the clothing and kind of like adding that to their element. Like if you're an artist, putting you like in your art just with my clothes on. And that's the same thing for models. Some models come to me and want an elegant shoot because of how things are put together. And I've also, I do the photography for my models as well, but I've also had other photographers shoot my stuff as well out in the UK. So the clothes have got off the water. They've got out of the States, been to Yokohama, Japan, been to the UK, so obviously I can't always shoot everything that I'm, whoever got the clothes on. So, but finding those people, a lot of times those people find me, and I feel like that's just God's way of working. It's spewing that energy out, spewing out good energy, and good people should find me. You know what I'm saying? And understand the movement and understand what I'm trying to promote and spread. So people being a part of that should ultimately bring people together anyway. I've actually had people interact because of my clothing. Somebody DM'd me saying, man, I think it was two girls, and they said that they seen another person wearing the PC hoodie. So they looked at each other kind of like the Spider-Man meme.
Like at the same time type?
Yeah, seen them out at the same, you know what I'm saying? Seen them out at the same time. Or I think they might have had a shirt on or they had a hoodie on, but they seen the logo and they looked like the Spider-Man meme. They looked at each other like, you know him? And they started interacting and they had a short little conversation just because of that. And that meant so much to me because people are coming together through a passion of mine and understanding that if you see that logo, that's good people.
That means something to you.
That means something to me. And if you see somebody in that logo, that's good people. So it's almost like if you know him and you know how he move, you probably moving like that. Because that's why you got the clothes on.
Otherwise, why represent that?
Why represent moving with love and being kind, being genuine, and being yourself if that's not what you own?
Knowing that person ain't enough for that.
So, hey, how you doing? I see you got the PC on. So now y'all talking and chopping it up. Y'all might go ahead and get some coffee or something based off of that. And that's ultimately what I want to do, is bring people together, heal the world type of aspect, the Michael Jackson type of thing. Love Michael Jackson. So those are like my idols, in a sense. Biggest motivators is people that's, I feel like, was giving back to bring people together, so I think that's a big thing when you finding models and when you finding like content creators and people to express and market your brand. They have to understand what you're trying to promote and what you're trying to market, And a lot of people are willing to adapt. You know, a lot of people come to me and they might be strippers even, or they might be, you know, artists, they don't care. They like, hey, look, I ain't got nothing to do with how you getting down. But they come to me looking, hey man, I see the type of vibe you create and I want to be in that. I've had people that have never worn a dress shirt, put a dress shirt on to shoot in my clothes because they love what I'm doing, and so they got out of their element to get into mine. And that's a beautiful thing to me, because that's when you open up your mind to other people's situations, stuff like that, because you're willing to understand somebody else. And that's what makes people come together.
No, absolutely, for sure. And it's funny that you brought up, and I'm not going no type of way with this, but it's funny how you brought up, you know, the drug dealers, the strippers, because I respect both of them to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I use the reference of, you know, strippers or drug dealers all the time. Like, I went to ATL not too long ago, and somebody asked me, you going to the strip clubs? And I was like, no, but I get why you asking me that.
ATL bid for strip club.
Yeah. I was like, but when I go to strip clubs, most of them, you know, are single moms, paying their way through college, just trying to provide. Right. Some of them, on the other hand, got more of a life story to them.
Right.
But like Jeezy said, we went in the club and had, you know, bitches telling us we paid their rent.
Exactly.
Like, that's...
And that's what I'm saying. And you can't always... Like, it's a two-sided sword. Like, you can't always judge a book by its cover, but you should kind of have an expectation depending on the cover. You know, so don't be dumb, but don't be too smart that you can't learn something. So when you're looking at strippers or you're looking at drug dealers, if you look at a drug dealers, like high-profile ones, big movers, are some of the best businessmen of all time. Because that's what it is.
That's all it is.
You're running a corporation. It might be illegal, but that's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So who's to say that, somebody that's running a bigger corporation in a legal way? Because a lot of times when you have these legal corporations doing things, they're doing things illegally.
How do you think they got so big?
Okay, so you're with me. So who's to say that this drug dealer's not doing illegal stuff to find something to buy a body shop? You know what I'm saying? Or become a mechanic. So the same thing like you just identified with the stripping, or, you know, the adult dancing or adult entertainer or whatever. Maybe they're doing that to pay their way through college. Maybe that's the only way and the quickest way that they can get. Now, would you know, somebody want their significant other doing it? No. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. I
also feel that particular part right there is circumstantial.
Obviously.
Because you got some dudes that be like, oh, you a hustler, you get into the bag, do your thing, I'll be there at 3 a.m. to pick you up.
Right. Me, morally, as a Muslim man, I don't agree with it. But I'm not about to, you know, I'm not about to disrespect or judge nobody based on their occupation. Because at the end of the day, like I just told you, with my pride and what I want to abide by, if you a good person, regardless of how you getting it, if you doing good with it, I'm not here to judge. I am not Allah. I am not God himself. I'm here on the same type of time you is. Now, if you doing, because there's people out here using legal money and using legal occupation and doing people wrong.
Facts.
So who is to say that y'all not? Who is to say you're better than a drug dealer or a stripper? Who is to say just because of your occupation that makes you higher in life than somebody else? You know what I'm saying? But if you using whatever you using and you doing good by it or doing something good, how can I hate on that? You know what I'm saying? So I don't judge it. Would I want it close to home? No, not necessarily. But we all got our situational, circumstantial perspectives. You know, based on those type of
100%.
things. And like you said, like you got to watch out in Atlanta though when it comes to strippers, because you never know what they could be. So somebody might come up to you and they just became a man like 2 weeks ago. or just got finished being a man 2 weeks ago. Like, Atlanta a bad, like, and this is my advice to anybody that's in Atlanta. I got family, I got homies down there. Just
mind your business.
Mind your business. Mind it. Like, it ain't safe. You know, they got a lot going on down there. I've been to Atlanta. I've been in situations where it's just funny because you didn't think people was living like this. And that's why I say people should travel and see the world so much, because just to open up your mind and understand that people are doing things in a different way in different places for their own situational circumstance. You never know it's people in Thailand doing something that we doing over here, but they doing it in a different way because they in Thailand. You know what I'm saying? You never know until you know.
Facts.
But you got to be open-minded to even understand, to even gain the knowledge to know. So
that went over a lot of people's head.
And it will. So you have to play that back. And
I was going to say, you want to run that back?
You want to bring that back? I'll stay. Okay, now we back. You know what I'm saying? Now we back in case you want to run that back. But that's what we doing, man. And like, to kind of finish up on the question, man. But that's what it is when you looking for models and, you know, looking for people to promote you and market you and stuff like that, man. Just like Nike would. You know what I'm saying? You take prolific figures, or you take people. My thing is, I want to build a community and I want to build with people. You know, so I want to collab with people that's up and coming, doing good, or, you know, the single moms or the dudes out here that's, you know, getting to it and they got regular jobs. You know, I want to promote that as well, not because of how you look, but what you represent. Because everything that, you know, the glitter ain't gold. You know what I'm saying? So you could be the best looking woman, but you out here moving on a foul aspect or not a righteous path. And you could be, you know, a man that's doing A, B, and C, you know, or whatever. You could be working at, you know, Top Golf, you know, I don't know, but you out here being a good person with your Top Golf check. I don't, you know, but that's what I want to be represented through the clothing and a sense of togetherness, you know, and that's ultimately what I want to bring. So when I'm looking for people more than likely usually find me, but I'm always posting about needing this because I always want to create content. But my biggest thing is to push the people that have a passion, or the upcoming models or the upcoming artists or stuff like that. People who need support and people who want to represent something that's moving with love and that's moving with you, you know, and not, you know, and so that's my biggest thing. Just good people. You know, it's not about how you look, it's not about that, but it's about what you represent and who you are within, because I wouldn't just want anybody representing who I am. You know, if you're paying for it, whatever, but it's at the same time, like, I just don't, that's not what I'm moving like. So that's what I look for when I want somebody to post my content or this, that, and the other. It's about the good people. Truth be told.
My guy, that makes sense.
I hope it do.
For sure.
If it don't make sense, it don't make dollars. It gotta make some of that. Oh, man.
So we pretty much just covered you.
In a sense, I think so. I think you just helped out a lot of people to kind of understand what we trying to
understand you,
yeah,
and where you're coming from. But where we haven't really we've talked about it a little bit. The campaign.
Okay.
What's the campaign? Because if you're already the president, you had your inauguration, you know what I'm saying? You did your campaign. Why's the campaign coming now?
Well,
is it a re-election? Some changes going on?
What is that Kobe thing when they won Game 3? I think the guy looked at Kobe and he said, "Are you not happy? You're not." Kobe said, "Job not finished." What's there to be happy about?
That's exactly how he said it too.
What's there to be happy about? So that's what the campaign is. I'm not finished, and I don't feel like. I feel like when it's my time, then it's my time. But I feel like the campaign, truly, I mean, the definition of a campaign is an organized group of individuals with a common goal. That's all it is.
I mean, yeah.
That, like, if you can look up the Google definition, and I'm sure that's what will pop up: an organized group of individuals who come together for a common goal. That campaign, when you see a president going around from, city to city, state to state, he's campaigning. He's it's an organized group for him to promote what he wants to do when he becomes president. So that's what the campaign here is about. It's to not only bring people together once again, but it's to give people a voice, give people, dealing with things, ability to talk about it, kind of like we did earlier. That's what the campaign's here to do. It's here to, push righteousness, the good in the world. There's still some good left out here. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to be about. And that's what I want to move. The artists, help them, interview them, give them somebody that they can sit down and actually have a relatable interview with, or, that's meant for them, So with the campaign, it's just simple, to promote the message of being kind, being genuine, and being yourself. The campaign will never stop. Whether I become president in 30 years, it will never stop. The message will never stop. I hope the campaign is something that as a father, that my kids can carry on. You know what I'm saying? Being a good person. That's the campaign. To continue that movement and continue to share, love one another, and to come together. Why as individuals do we separate so much, and we're doing the same thing? Why are we doing that? We could have put $10 together and got a whole box of chicken wings. Instead, we went and took our tens and went somewhere and felt lonely, eating our little Chipotle bowl. That is overly expensive, by the way, nowadays.
Why you just?
Yeah, I'm gonna slide that in there, Chipotle. Y'all gonna have to send me some gift cards or something when y'all see this podcast. Y'all tripping.
I know people that up there daily.
Man, oh
daily.
My God. Back in my day.
Back in high school, we was up there daily.
I'm talking about back in my day. A bowl was $6.25.
He was not lying.
Back in my day, like
bowl of chicken was $6.25. If you got double meat, not half and half, you got double meat, steak, and chicken, came out to like $11.50.
$11.50. You leaving out of there? Don't get no double meat. Don't get no double meat. It doesn't. I mean, double cheese. They be trying to. They looking at 2 for the 15. Everything going up, man. Eggs. All type
2 for the 15.
Man, oh my God, they is tripping. But that's just
a 15 now.
That's just a side note. That's a whole. That's with the as the president, we gonna talk about Chipotle and their prices too. Like we hitting. With the podcast, we hitting all different
inflation levels and everything.
And we talking about everything. Like this is the place to be uncomfortable. A space for people to be comfortable. And a
comfortable place to be uncomfortable.
Yes, sir.
Or an uncomfortable place to be comfortable.
I think it's a comfortable place to be uncomfortable because there's no growth in comfort.
No.
But a lot of people don't know that a lot of people don't know how to express that they're uncomfortable. And I mean that from within. So the fact
because they're uncomfortable. They don't want to be uncomfortable.
Who does? That's where the growth happens at. But a lot of people don't know where to seek that or where to even get advice or to talk about it at. So that's why I feel like this is the place for that. And this is the campaign. That's what we doing. Like we've went to different studios already. And done stuff like you as the producer, we went to different locations where we plan on taking this to such a level that I don't even think we know yet, in order to promote a message of the simplest things that we talk about. And I will continue to talk about it until my last day.
It's gotta start somewhere,
don't it? That's the thing. But it gotta start somewhere, but it never has to end. And
that's the key, though. We could start this today, but are we gonna continuously be here for the people?
Why wouldn't we be? And that's why when you asked one of the
because when that pressure come, pressure busts pipe,
but it also creates diamonds. And as Ric Flair would say, diamonds are forever, and so is PC. So I mean that's as simple as can be, man. there's no pressure, man, because move all the pressure aside, move with the love. I ain't got nothing to do with all that. I know what I'm moving, and as long as I'm, being a good man and doing what I'm supposed to do, God gonna bless that. So I don't let the pressure necessarily get to me, anxiety or none of that. I feel like as long as we doing what we supposed to do, there is no limit. As Biggie would say, sky's the limit type of thing, and I feel like that with that. Like, I feel like the Campaign podcast has a great producer, Audacious over here. He's helped me not only structure the podcast, but structure like a portion of my life in a sense, by taking a lot of stress off of me, of my ideas, my creativity, to give you an internal shout out of just putting it together, like kind of letting me do this, letting me present people with what I feel like the people need. And I mean, this has so much to do with you as well as myself that it's not even funny. I can't even laugh about it because I'm about to, because I said I can't. But it's one of those things, like, man, it can go as far as you make it. But I never want kindness, love, and stuff like that to stop. But it needs to be talked about. And I feel like so many things need to be talked about that are uncomfortable to talk about. And the Campaign podcast with President Crosby is the place to talk about those uncomfortable things. Because as you know, because we done talked about high school and back in the day, I don't give a fuck about none of that.
None.
I'm not about to, you know what I'm saying? I speak up for somebody I don't even know. Like, man, what the
straight up.
Because it's wrong.
I've seen it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like, man, what the fuck? Like, nah, that's not right. Like, and that's just who I am. So that's what I'm here to do. And if it make people uncomfortable, and you uncomfortable because of wrongdoing or something, that's on you. My biggest thing is I can't help everybody, and you can't, you can't just. It is what it is. You can't. Sometimes you can't. I mean, you gotta take accountability and understand that sometimes you can't. You can't please everyone. It's just how life goes. So I feel like as long as I'm pleasing the good, then we cool. And
I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to bring up the Campaign directly. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you for the shout out. But that's why I want to bring up the Campaign directly, is because that word alone, campaign, that is so, I feel like, because you even went as far as to whether or not that is the legitimate definition or that's how you view the word. Mm-hmm. Campaign, that word alone is looked at as such a political word that I feel like the way you switched it and you took the word, made the movement, and you're taking it, I don't want to really say an opposite direction,
but a different one.
But the same direction on a different kind of road. Because you got your gravel roads, you got your dirt roads, you got your pavement, concrete. You took, because it is the same concept. You don't have the politics. You have the people.
And that's all you need, because, I mean, everybody politic.
That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Everybody politicking. It's a slang word. Like, man, I was over there politicking. A debate is two people arguing in a professional manner. That's all it is. With
the mediator, somebody controlling the situation.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. Politics is something people don't want to talk about, or they don't want to use the words from politics, but I cannot. You know what I'm saying? If people identify me as the president, that the president literally is the leader, of whatever, an organization or a group of people or whatever that president may be. So as the president, the political terms don't always have to be looked at in a bad light. It's about the perspective you have towards certain things. Just like one of the biggest things that I hear all the time, and I've been hearing it for years, is the word manipulation. Manipulation is not always a bad thing, because just imagine as kids how we were manipulated in ways of, if you don't do your homework, you can't go outside.
It's an ultimatum.
That's an ultimatum and a form of manipulation. it is healthy manipulation, but people look at the word manipulation in a negative fashion because it's always expressed in that light. That's your parent manipulating you into doing something that they see because they're looking at the bigger picture. They want you to do your homework, so they're manipulating you with something that you want to do. Yeah, I want to go outside, so let me get this homework done, because in the future, you're gonna be like, Mom, thank you for holding me accountable, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have did my homework if I couldn't go outside. I wouldn't have did it. So all forms of manipulation is not bad. Or you gotta eat your vegetables to get some candy. You're being manipulated. That word is, and that's how I feel.
Milk will make you stronger.
I mean, come on. It's all about, and that's how I look at it in life. Before I say something is bad or unrighteous or whatever, I try to look at it from all 6 angles. What is my perspective on this, and why is it the way I'm thinking? If the pros and the cons is just, that's how I handle everything in my head. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't care who it is. I don't care what color you is. You could be a Teletubby. I really don't care. That's how I look.
Leave my Teletubbies around.
Okay, if you a Teletubby, that's cool. But I mean, growing up, my favorite Teletubby was Red, but he was the shortest one. You know what I'm saying? If something is higher than him, then they can't reach it or whatever. It's everything is literally, life itself is about perspective. And I feel like the word manipulation, just to even just hone in on that, because we brought it up, is one of those things in our society that's always looked at as a bad thing. Same thing with our political definition and who they are, because politics is not always looked at as a plus in society due to the fact of people feeling oppressed, people not doing certain things, or they feeling that they're not getting enough or this, that, and the other. But it's about perspective, so it's ultimately how I feel about that. Just, I don't know. It is what it is, as the old folks say.
Old folk, wise folk. Old folks, wise folks. This is one hell of a journey for you.
I feel like
you've always been this, I want to say charismatic, but I don't think that's the right word. But you've always been charismatic, outgoing. You've always had this creative personality to you. Like, you've always just been this, man, in the hallways, we'd be rolling, okay? Literally on the floors laughing. Man, just off the simplest shit.
You always getting me in trouble for just speaking
the simplest.
And you said it recently too, man, because you said, man, I always appreciate it, man, how you just elaborate on shit. And I just, that, and it's literally, it's a funny way, because my mom is like that too. She's very witty and very, like, funny ignorant. Like, she's the type like you to be explaining something to her. Man, why do you, my job, that my manager or whatever getting on my nerves, and you'll be telling her about it. She'd be like, well, that's what they supposed to do. Ain't nobody supposed to be nice to you at work. Like, and you looking at her like, what is your problem? But she's literally just ignorant. So growing up, and
telling you about life.
She telling you about life, but in a funny way, and that's how her father was.
Real
that
life.
She told me. Like, I think my mom's father would call my dad Mr. Nigga. Like, he'd say, "What's up, Mr. Nigga? How you doing?" Like, that's so ignorant in a respectful way. Like, you gotta, and I feel like to even have that level, like, you gotta have some level of
on
just,
2 ways.
It's so, but it's, to me, it's funny.
Cause there's a female somewhere that gonna say that and get slapped.
But I think it's funny, Mr. Nigga.
But like,
yeah, because he could have just called you nigga. What's up, nigga? He put some respect on his goofiness. Like, you gotta be a goofy motherfucker to even comprehend what he doing.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so, and that's my, I guess that's my culture in a sense. We come from a lot. My son do it. Like, he's a clown. Like, he's
to the moon and back. That kid had me rolling.
Yeah, like both of them. Like, you didn't even meet the other one. Like, but it's like, man, oh my goodness. Like, it's so many different aspects of things. And man, it's just like, so I feel like that's where I get it from in a sense, but I would just genuinely be explaining things, and my mother think I should have been a comedian. Like, she said I would pay for you to go down to like the House of Blues or something and just do a stand-up. Me, I'm like, I don't know how to do it. Like, I would have to, because I'm very particular and very like organized, I would have to learn how to do comedy, like be a comedian to myself, because I feel like I'm naturally funny, but it's situational. Like, I could just genuinely explain something, it could be funny, but when you a comedian, you have to go up there with material, funny things. Like, I could explain something, and you heard me. Like, I explain stuff just that's how it is. Like, I ain't trying to be funny. Like,
that's not everybody.
But that's how it happened. Like, so I feel like I could, but I think I would overthink it, and I feel like that's my biggest problem, and that's why, like, when you said like a journey and everything, I feel like that's what's been kind of holding me back in a lot of things, because of not having the same innocence I once did when I was younger, but knowing more, but not allowing myself like to just go.
Okay.
Just fuck it. We'll figure it out on the way. We'll get gas. You know what I'm saying? We'll eat on the way. Like, not eating and preparing. Because now I'm in a more methodical pace in my life to where I slow things down because I want to be efficient and effective. Not to say that that's a bad method and it hasn't worked for me, but sometimes there's nothing wrong with being a little spontaneous like I was back then. Like, I would go to Atlanta. Like, me, a couple of the homies, you know what I'm saying? We was in a group chat one time and we said, do y'all want to go to New York or Atlanta? In the next 2 days. Like, we took 2 cars down there, and I said I already been to Atlanta, so I picked New York at the time. You know, I ain't never been to New York at the time. Man, we had 2 cars going down to New York in the next 2 days. Did we know how much money we was gonna spend, where we was gonna stay at? No, we didn't. But that was the experience of it. Now I'm in a place in my life where it's like, man, where we gonna stay? What's this? And that's why we back out of things, because it's like ignorance is bliss in some situations. Like, sometimes you hold yourself back knowing too much. Instead, like, sometimes getting out there, la 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 and everything,
yeah,
and figuring it out on the way. So I've been trying to do that more. You know, I've been trying to like know what I know, but don't let that stop me from figuring out more, but being comfortable not knowing everything on the way. Just letting sometimes life flow. I still want to be in control of the flow. I don't want to end up by a shark, but I'm gonna let it flow though. If I know it ain't no shark, okay, cool. We can flow wherever. Then, like, we can go to New York. I just need some wings on the way. Like, gas or whatever. We got that. That's cool, bro. We don't care. Like, I don't care at that point now. But I feel like that's how it is with the journey and everything now. Like, truly just letting myself be myself. Kind of getting out of my own way. Expressing myself more. Holding myself accountable just like I would other people. And just, my saying is, everything is on the floor. And I say that because, like, when you playing dice or when you doing something with the money on the floor, that's it.
It's on the floor.
It's on the floor. Like, talk about it. What's up? Like, that's how I am now. Everything on the floor. Like, I ain't, I don't want to build up animosity towards nobody. I don't want to do certain things. I don't want to hold nothing in. Getting old, man. Like,
For what?
For what? Let's talk about that. What's up? Why you do that? Well, that's better.
Well,
that's better than a week from now. You saying, well, you know what I'm saying? What's up with that? I'm checking shit at the door. Like how your mom would say, hey, I want shoes off at the door.
Will Smith said the same thing. Wipe your feet off.
That's
No mat before you come in the house.
I'm saying. That's how it is, man. I'm on the flow. That's I don't know, man. Y'all can take that quote, put it on the shirt, man. it's on the flow. Like, that's how I see life now, which is why I'm, even with this, man, I know as the producer, I be asking you a lot of questions, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get some, really, I be trying to allow myself to just sit back, you know what I'm saying? And just vibe, just go with the flow. We're going to make some mistakes on the way, but really we here for the people and to, move things in a righteous way, you know what I'm saying? Do things like that. So just allowing myself to be myself at the end of the day.
No, absolutely. The reason I brought up the journey and you just being this outgoing, funny, creative dude.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to kind of dig into or indulge in that creative space when you can't? It's not your day. Sun's not coming up.
Really, what I've been doing a lot of lately, music has always been a big part of me. And even sometimes, even if I know the songs by like words, or sometimes I'll just listen to instrumentals or just jazz music or something. Kind of let my thoughts play on the beat. And then go from that aspect, So I feel like when it's not my day, just try to not stress about it as much as I used to, and not like understand that I'm human. Every day not gonna be yours, but having the mentality of you got the next one, So continuously not beat myself up, but like I said when you asked the last question, just allowing myself to be myself, even myself that I don't like, such as the tired version or the those type of it's not my day version, but allowing myself to be like, man, be comfortable with it, like, man, that ain't me, man. It's like when you playing basketball, like every shot ain't gonna go in, but you got to be comfortable enough to understand that and be willing to take the next one. Because if you tell yourself, oh man, it's not my day, man, you beat yourself up about it. Now I'm missing 2 or 3 shots, and I'm missing them because I'm not taking them, or I'm not trying to think. You know what I'm saying? So
goes back to being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
And that's the perfect way to put it.
If you could be uncomfortable for a year or two, just to live comfortable for the rest of your life, would you do it?
Yes.
But you have to be uncomfortable for 2 years.
Yes.
Consistently.
Yes. Yes, I would. Because if that was the goal, why we do it anyway. We do it anyway, not knowing it, but we don't know the end to our movie. We don't know where our movie is going. We don't know where our plot is going. So just imagine somebody, staying at a place they don't want to stay, but they don't, this is how much money they make. Or they move into a different state, you know what I'm saying? They're living uncomfortable because they're coming out here to do movies. I think Jamie Foxx, in his first couple of years acting, he slept on somebody's couch.
There's a couple of them that have done that.
And we don't probably know their names of everybody, you know what I'm saying? But just imagine the amount of people.
One off rip is Tiffany Haddish. Kevin Hart helped her out big time.
See? But like you just said, sometimes you got to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. So taking that risk or taking that uncomfortable situation and somebody seeing that, but they seeing that you still bringing passion and consistency to something, knowing you don't have it all. And when just imagine a rapper or something like that. Like I think she recorded in on a weird looking studio, but if all you need is a studio and you make great music or you doing something, somebody will see your passion and effort and consistency towards something, and they'll make you comfortable to do what you need to do. So I think that's a big thing. Like if Leonardo da Vinci, all he needed was a couple paintbrushes to paint, I'm sure somebody would give them to him. You would make him as comfortable as you can so he could do what he do. I don't think that's a problem. That's the same thing with like basketball practice facilities and stuff like that. They making their players as comfortable as they can, so when they go on the court, they able to perform. That's all. But
how comfortable were they till they got to that comfortable $1 million contract?
To even be in a practice facility.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, to even have somewhere to practice. A lot of people that's coming or have an upbringing of basketball don't always even have the places to even work on their craft. So now, like, same thing with artists. A lot of artists on here don't always have a place to work on their craft. So that's an uncomfortable feeling for somebody who wants to paint and doesn't have a paintbrush or even paint. That's uncomfortable in itself because you have a passion and you have a will to do something and you don't even have the tools needed to do it. So sometimes you have to make yourself uncomfortable, work somewhere you don't want to, just to even get the tools needed to be comfortable in another area of your life. And I feel like as long as you're willing to do that in some type of way, shape, or form and understand that, you should be able to get to where you go, because being uncomfortable is just a sacrifice for the ultimate goal. And what is that? That's within, and that's for you to answer. I feel like that's all it is. But being uncomfortable is gonna have to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like when your mom tell you it's food at home. You're gonna have to be uncomfortable in that car ride, but it's some food at home. You'll be comfortable there. You gotta be patient and wait. Relax. Let's ride. Shut up. That's when you sit in the back seat and shut up. There ain't no McDonald's. You get home, you'll be fed.
It's McDonald's at the house.
Or she'll make it. She'll throw you some burgers, some fries, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Why they tell us, if we wanted something on the car ride home, why they tell us we had that at the house?
It was all
Hey, Mom, can I get some McDonald's? We got McDonald's at the house. Shut up.
Man, my dad would get it. I ain't gonna cap. He was the type to get it. But if you ask him for something specific, it was always like, if you ask him for some shoes, so I ain't got no shoe money. Or you asking for a hat, I ain't got no hat money. Like, when I'm growing up, I'm like, they don't have specific monies for specific items. But that was his way of being like, I don't got
money for that right now.
Yeah, but him and I feel like in a lot of ways I was spoiled growing up, because his thing was always I see. But he was a man of his word. You know what I'm saying? So I take that with great accountability as moving and as being a father and being, or even doing business with somebody. Your word is everything, in a lot of situations. So if I say
it's a verbal contract.
And I try to abide by that, because that's credit. That's credit.
Circumstantial, situational, but yeah.
So when you say you can do something and you're not able to do it, unless circumstances prevent you from doing it. But
your word's got that power though.
And that's what you want to move by. If you say you're going to do something, people hold you accountable for that. But you got to be somebody worth holding accountable in the first place. You can't have expectations. And I tell people all the time, you can't have expectations from somebody who haven't given you a reason to have those expectations. Why are you expecting 30-point games from a 10-point-a-game scorer? That's your problem. But if I've showcased that I'm a man of keeping my word, I kind of earn that expectation. So I can't necessarily be mad at you for expecting that from me, because I'm the reason that you expect that in the first place. And that's what a leader is supposed to do. That's what somebody who's looking for that, you should expect LeBron to have 27, 7, and 7. He's giving you that for 20 years. He can't be mad at you for expecting that for real. Like, he can be like, man, it's my 20 MCs, man. Come on, I'm getting up. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You just did it 20 years straight, bro. Come on. Like, you can't be mad at us. You better go on one of them hydro massage machines, man. Hurry up and get out here and give us that 27, 7, and 7. That's what I try to abide by. Do it take a toll on you as a person? Yeah. But so what? That's why. But his thing was always, I see. Because if he wanted to kind of get himself some room, so if he couldn't, he never said he could. But if he could, you won't necessarily be surprised that he did, because he kind of came through it anyway. But he'll let you know that. But if he could do something, he would say that. I got you. But if he couldn't, let me see. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Let me see what I can do. That's always been the thing. Let me see what I can do. If I can't do nothing, then I can't. At least I tried, but vice versa. So try to do that as well.
No, that makes a lot of sense, my guy. For sure. But hey, man, we talked about you.
Yeah.
We got to know you.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. We got to know what you're doing, how you moving. We got this campaign going, and it don't really sound like it's about to stop anytime soon.
No, it shouldn't.
We got some other details about, you do fashion. There's a lot going on with you.
Yeah.
And you also brought up a lot about traveling.
Yeah.
But we ain't got time for that. Cause man, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm gonna give him a little 1 + 1 = 2. You've been around.
Yeah, I've been some places.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
But my guy,
It's the traveling I've been to 30 out of 50 states. A lot of people, and I always had like a thing. I wanted to go to all 50. I do have my passport, and I do want to see like overseas and stuff like that. I do want to go to Dubai, Mecca, stuff like that. But I always had this thing, like, once I knew that it was the ability that you could go anywhere and how simple it was growing up, because I come from Cleveland. I come from 8931 Huff. So my thing was I always wanted to go to LA. Been an LA fan growing up, basketball, just LA. Like I still I feel like LA is somewhere in me. Like the music I listen to, everything, like Tupac, this, that, and the other, So when I first went to LA, and I think the ticket was at the time the same amount as a video game, like $65, something. I don't know what it was. It was on Spirit. I ain't had to fly.
Sound about right?
Yeah, I ain't had to fly the plane myself or nothing on Spirit, but it was $60, and I'm like, a video game, and these video games nowadays is $100. You know what I'm saying? So you not
lying.
So I'm like, bro, it costs that much for me to experience something that I will take with me for the rest of my life. So after that, I'm gone. At every opportunity I can get, damn near, like, because I wanted to learn more, I wanted to see more, and I wanted to experience more, because I knew I was not only traveling, but I was investing in my mental. I was investing in my knowledge for what is, and that would bring me so much comfort because I've seen a lot. Feel like that's what makes you comfortable. That's what create, like, even the level of having anxiety. One of the things they say helps with anxiety is watching the same movie over and over, or a movie that because you know how it'll play out, you know how it'll end, you know what'll happen. So when
I can see that.
Get over the fear of traveling, get over the fear of being in other places and stuff. I can go to LA now and I can tell you where they eat chicken. The best chicken sandwich in the world, Holland Raised. I could tell you these type of things, or in Texas, or in a New York or whatever. And I feel comfortable being able to, which is why I don't even go out no more like that. You can't catch me really downtown Cleveland and nowhere like that, man. That ain't really my vibe no more, because I've been to so many downtowns that doesn't entertain me the same way it once did, because I'm so comfortable with where I have been. That's not even where I want to be. That's not nothing for me down there.
You elevating
mentally,
yeah,
and I'm able to take that
and spiritually.
With me. Yeah, so those same things don't even really content me no more. I don't feel like I'm missing out on nothing, because I know where I know what I've seen, type of thing. It brings me comfort in that. So the more I see the world, the more comfort it'll bring to me when I am in my homeland, type of thing. I could chill. I don't too much now. I don't need too much now, because I feel like I done seen a lot already. So I can't wait to experience more and really get out here and truly just learn. Just never stop learning. Just be a sponge. Just move through life.
Soak it up.
Learning. Yeah. Soak it up. Whatever it is. Keep the negative stuff.
Yeah.
Keep that over there. But anything positive, anything loving, or moving on some righteousness, I'm there. I'm with it. So to speak. Yeah.
All right, old school. Hey, man, you not done traveling.
I feel like I've been called old school since I was young.
It's because you got old soul.
Unk.
It's because you got old soul.
Oh, my goodness.
They say if you was born from, like, the 80s to, like, the mid-90s, you got old soul.
But there's something about it.
And I feel like it's a hit or miss. Either you got that old soul or you trash.
It's like, what?
No, you say you not done traveling.
Nah, I can't be.
Podcast, I don't want to say the campaign just started, because campaign been going for a little while.
Yeah.
Campaign been going as long as the brand been going. So the campaign not going nowhere, but it just got here.
Right. I guess the podcast form.
The podcast.
I feel like the campaign been going on since.
But having to bring it for real, no cap.
Really since.
But I feel like you brought that campaign and turned it into a campaign. Turned it into, you brought it to the air. You know what I'm saying? You're exposing what you've done, what you want to do, and I don't think we should stop, man.
Man, we not going, man.
I could sit here and talk to you all day.
Man, and that's the good feeling. You know, that's the aura. That's how I want people to feel.
That's that genuine.
And that's what we're here to do, man. So I think the campaign gonna be here. You know, and we gonna be, you know, doing interviews. We bringing people in. The congregation.
I heard something about phone calls.
Hey, y'all gonna be able to call in. You know, it's
Talk
gonna be
direct. What?
Direct questions, anonymous. We ain't exposing nobody. You know, y'all can tell me how you want me to promote. You know what I'm saying? How you want to be involved. You know, and we gonna get it because this is what we trying to do, man. We trying to make people feel a part of something. You know, is as the president. Me, the congregation, the campaign, you know, everything is one. Everything is us. It's a we. It's how are we feeling? It's how are we doing? You know, so Audacious, man, I appreciate you always producing the show, editing, telling me what angles I look good in and what the, you know, kind of where to put my thoughts, you know, with the questions from not only you but others, you know, to kind of bring in, because I've been asked those questions so much off air and so much in just random different conversations. So to kind of give the people that, I feel like it's a good aspect in not only what we're doing here, but what we're going to continue to do even off air, you know, and in other locations and stuff like that. So I think that's real big.
And I mean, there's really not a whole lot of podcasts that you can go remote with. So there's a lot of things coming with yours specifically.
Yeah,
that, you know, I'm helping you bring to life. That really going.
No, we gonna.
We just gotta stay tapped in.
We gonna act up. I mean, truly, like you said, man, the campaign been going on like that. I feel like us personally as a little tandem, like we've been doing this since forever. Now we're just recording it, and you know, now we just giving the people an in tune look at what we're doing and who we are, you know, as an entertainment company, as a personality, as a host, as a, you know, speaker, coach, whatever you want to say, as a brand as a whole. Like, so I think it's a good look on everything, you know, but implementing just everything and what we doing is just, it's a big part, and I'm excited. You know, I'm definitely excited for everything that we got coming, everything that we done already did. You know what I'm saying? I'm just excited. You know, I'm truly. So, to be honest, man, y'all as the people, unless you got any more questions or anything that the
I got
should know.
One important question left. Where can they find you at?
So you mean social media?
Social media, you know. Where can they follow the podcast? Where can they find it? Not necessarily find it yet, because we're doing a lot behind the scenes right now. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we got the Instagram up.
Yeah, the Instagram is The Campaign Podcast. We coming out with more social media as we get it. So I'm trying to run those type of things and my personal pages at the same time. Probably gonna have somebody run my personal pages, or, you know what I'm saying, because it's a lot. But
at least business pages I would do.
Yeah, my personal page is definitely like it's a monster in itself. Different. Yeah, but I mean, y'all can always follow me at President Crosby. The brand page with the clothing and everything is P Crosby brand. So follow that. You know, stay up to date on the clothes, the gear, everything coming out. Big shouts out to everybody who done, you know, supported me in the clothing. You know, one girl, Abby, she's been making my clothes for a couple months now. She's a big part of what I do, and she's been like so gracious and so like loving. And I know I use that word very often, but she's been so loving with the approach and everything that I do, because it's more like a side hustle for her, but she sees how seriously I take it, and she kind of just like, she zones in on the work. She kind of, you know, she's really in tune with what I need and what I do. I could really ask her to kind of create anything, you know, and she's been a big help, you know, with everything that I'm doing, because as much as y'all see like kind of President Crosby, and that's why I wanted the campaign and the congregation when I say those things, it's so many people backing me and supporting me and allowing me to be who I am, that I always try to, be humble and give that support to everybody that's helping me move this movement, move this whole project and this whole thing, because there's so many different avenues and aspects, so I'm always, appreciating, people as much as they appreciate me. Like I tell anybody, your appreciation is appreciated. Like, that's a big thing for me. So yeah, big shouts out on that. And really just, Facebook is Pres Crosby. Y'all can find me there. I ain't too hard to find. I really don't use Snapchat as much. Snapchat kind of getting on my nerves now. It's one of those older little kid apps to me now. It's really irritating. I think I'm about to delete it for real, but I don't know what it's for. At this point in life, like, it's just so unnecessary to use. It just spends more time on your phone.
How I see it, and kind of like how I use Snapchat, is it's nothing but a giant Instagram story. Man,
okay, so tell the truth. Before we end it, tell the truth about Snapchat, man. What was it really for? And then you smiling. What was it really for back in the day, man? Keep it a band.
Hey, man. I don't think there's really too much I gotta say about that.
What's understood don't need to be discussed.
What understood don't need to be explained.
Okay.
The difference is they keep changing the terms and conditions of Snapchat. But they got rid of Kick.
Kick was legendary. I was messing with Kick, boy. I ain't gonna lie. Kick was kicking. Kick was kicking for a little minute, boy. Group chats and everything. I don't even know why we was getting on our phones to go to another messaging app, but Kick was so live. Like how how you just asked me my pages. Like, people was literally giving out their Kick, bro.
Like it was their phone number.
Yeah, like that was like, that's one of those things now. And I feel like during that age, during that time, and that age that we were in, like, we would give people our Snap rather than our phone number. It had to lead up to you getting somebody's phone number when that like Snapchat and Kick got popular. Like, cause you could have somebody Kick and Snapchat, but you ain't always have everybody's number.
And that's I feel like that's how it's going now.
You think?
Because
I've heard a lot of women be like, if somebody asks for my Snapchat, they don't even want to talk to you because I'm too grown for that. Like, they feel like you childish if you ain't coming for the phone number.
And that could also go back to like how you asked me, like, what was it originally for? Because there's also people talking about you ain't got to hit the line no more. You good? Just stick to the Snap.
Right.
You ain't even got to hit the line no more. Just hit the Snapchat. You good?
Oh, man.
You verified.
Man, I don't know about that one, man, but I don't know, man.
Just a little bullshit for that.
Man, like, we got so much we could talk about and go into. So I really feel like, man, like, when the people see this, this is gonna be big. This is a kind of like an intel of what the campaign gonna be doing, what we doing as, individuals, and how we bringing everything together. Like I said, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the listeners. I appreciate everybody that's, supporting the movement. And continuously just allowing me to be myself. There's no greater feeling than how we talked about it off air, man, when you just being yourself and people love that, so I appreciate everybody that's listening, watching, following the pages, supporting the pages, wearing the clothes. Gracias.
De nada.
So, yeah, man, we can. So appreciate y'all for listening to the campaign podcast with President Crosby. Like we said before, but in case y'all didn't catch it, you can follow us on the campaign podcast. You can follow my personal page at President Crosby and the brand page itself at P Crosby Brand. All on Instagram, and any Facebook or anything like that is Pres Crosby. I'm not a hard person to find, so y'all continue to stay tuned and continue to, move with the movement. You know what I'm saying? Always be kind, be genuine, and be you.
Hey, man, it's called a movement because it don't stop. At all. We stop in cities.
Stop in those.
stop in those
But once
cities.
we in those, as
We
Michael
on our way
Jackson would
out.
say, we're not gonna stop till we get enough. And I don't know when we're ever gonna get enough.
I don't think it's possible. Not the way we rocking.
No, sir.
But hey, man, it's been the Campaign Podcast with your host, Pres Crosby, and the dopest, coldest podcast producer in the world, Audacious. Follow me, man, all Instagram, FLE_President216. Go to that page, get you everything you need on that page. Man, we out.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
This is President Crosby, and you're listening to The Campaign on Fearless Life Radio.